The Huntsman Winters War in 3D, a 2016 release, a 1 hour and 54-minute film, 2.39 to 1 aspect ratio, so you will get the black bars at the top and the bottom if you're watching this on a television set. Dolby Digital, Dolby Atmos, Dolby 7.1, 6.1 on International Movie Database, 19% top critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, and 45% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Cedric Nicholas Troyan. He also did Snow White and the Huntsman, and he also worked on The Ring. Chris Hemsworth as Eric. Charlize Theron as Ravana, Jessica Chastain as Sarah, and Emily Blunt as Queen Freya. That's the big four up there. And you also have Nick Frost as Neon, a dwarf, and Rob Brydon as Griff, a dwarf, and two female dwarfs, Sheridan Smith as Mrs. Bromwyn, a dwarf, and Alexandra Roche as Dorina, a dwarf. So you got two female dwarfs, two male dwarfs. So what do you have here? You have a sequel and a prequel to Snow White and the Huntsman. It has a little bit of forestory and a little bit of backstory. So that's what you got here. They brought back Chris Hemsworth. He got paid $10 million to come back for this, and so did Charlize Theron. She wouldn't come back unless she got what he got paid. But she's only in here maybe 30 minutes. She's in here 10 in the beginning and about 20 at the end. But her performance is absolutely amazing. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the plot here in a minute. First, I want to talk about this. This took it on the chin by the critics. And a lot of the critics said it this, and a lot of the negative reviews were because they said it was a movie that didn't have to be made. When I hear that, I think, did any movie have to be made for that matter? I'm going to tell you, I really, really enjoyed this movie. My mouth was hanging open at the end. We're going to talk a little bit about the plot and a little bit about the 3D. So what's the plot? You got the two sisters. You got Ravana and Freya. Something happens between them, and Freya takes off to the north and becomes the Snow Queen or the Ice Queen, based on, I think, kind of like on Hans Christian Andersen's novel, The Snow Queen. They keep tying into that character, so does Disney and other people. So something happens there. She goes up to the north. She's got a cold heart. And when something happens to her, when this happens to Freya, she puts out a scream. A blood-curdling scream, the most dramatic scream I've ever heard. It just sends chills right through you, and you'll see it in the trailer. But man, Emily Blunt, I gotta tell you, she sells that scream. Anyway, she goes north, and she starts capturing children and building an army to capture all the kingdoms. And then something happens to the mirror. And now it's a race to get to the mirror. Chris Hemsworth has to get to the mirror. Ravana wants the mirror. Freya wants the mirror. They have to get this mirror so they could save Snow White's kingdom. And it becomes an action adventure movie. I grew up Jason and the Argonauts. All those old movies. You may not remember those, but this reminded me of Jason and the Argonauts to me, as some of the special effects and things like that. Let's talk about Chris Hemsworth part in here. Chris Hemsworth knocks it out of the park. He's fantastic in here. I just lost that. That's okay. Let's go on. Charlize Theron. Well, let me tell you something. Absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous. Gorgeous in here. The outfits that she wears, let's see if I can get it back up just for the heck of it. Why not, right? I mean, we got to have it up while we're talking. And here's something I want to tell you about. And this is a very good opportunity to tell you about this. This disc is one of the hardest discs I ever had to navigate. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. You see over there on the left, you got those little pictures. You'll see that, on other discs, but it's very hard to navigate. It took me forever to find the captions, because I'll tell you what, I'm so glad I put the captions on, because the mirror whispers. It's totally inaudible. And when you got the captions on, you're reading what the mirror says. And I didn't, this is the second time I watched this. First time I had no idea that the mirror was speaking. All right, so Chris Hemsworth knocks it out of the park. He's the perfect huntsman. Charlize Theron, oh my gosh, absolutely beautiful. These outfits that she's in. And evil, opening scene with her and the king, absolutely. You could feel the evil in her. Now I just lost my light up here. Boy, I've had a lot of technical difficulties, but we're going to power through this. All right, let's talk about Jessica Chastain as Sarah. She is the sidekick to Eric. She is the sidekick to, they're two Huntsman kids growing up. And they fall in love. And love's not allowed in Freya's kingdom. It's not allowed. And they have to escape if they want to love each other. I felt that emotional love between those two. The love scene in the hot springs, and it's just, I feel that love between these two. Great music score too. The music score really sells this. I got a high EQ, emotional. I feel emotion a lot, and I really felt it here in this love interest between the two. Let's talk about Emily Blunt as Queen Freya. A lot of critics, just bashed her on this. A lot of critics says, oh, she was miscast. Let me tell you something. This is my opinion, okay? This is why you come here, to hear my opinion. Emily Blunt played the perfect part as a woman that's been hurt the way she's been hurt, and as cold. I mean, she is the Ice Queen. My God, she has to play a cold part. Okay? She knocks it out of the park. Emily Blunt plays this absolutely perfectly, if you ask me. I mean, I felt for her. I really did. I felt, and I could feel her emotion, everything. Oh, she plays it out, knocks it out of the park. So we talked about those folks. Let's talk about Nick Frost as Neon. He's a dwarf. And Rob Brydon, he's Griff, the dwarf. There's the humor coming in there. These guys banter back and forth. Great humor between the two. Makes you laugh. You're going to chuckle. Let's talk about Sheridan Smith, the lovely Sheridan Smith, and as Mrs. Broman as a dwarf. I kept looking at her and I kept thinking of the singer Pink. I couldn't help it. I don't know, maybe it was the hairstyle. And the lovely Alexandra Roche as Dorina. Those two gals are absolutely adorable. All the women here are absolutely adorable. And they played a great part and brought a lot to this. So let's get into the 3D now. Sorry it took so long. Let's talk about the 3D. This is going to be a weird 3D review. I'm going to say this. 50% of this movie is good 3D. 50% good 3D. Okay, just good, average, run-of-the-mill, good depth 3D. 25% is exceptionally good 3D with pop-outs and depths. Some scenes looking like they were filmed stereoscopically, just a couple of scenes here and there. Looked like they were filmed that way. Effects, you got a lot of snow flakes in the room. You've got fire in the room. You've got birds flying around in the room. It's 25% exceptionally good 3D, 50% standard 3D. Now where are we at? We're at 75%, right? Okay, so what about the last 25%? Flat. Drop the ball altogether. Why? I don't know. It was almost as if they said, let's throw the 3D in here where it's got to be, and they did. They put it in there where it had to be. And look, I'd much rather watch this in 3D and 2D, without a doubt. You will get your share of pop-outs. You will get your share of fly-outs. You're going to get things floating around in the room in that 25% of exceptionally well done 3D. You're going to get all that. And you're going to get good 50% of this 3D. And so that's 25, and then you got some flat, maybe 5% pop out, okay, at the most, as LJ Draco would say. Maybe 10% pop out. And you got those flat areas. You got that flat where they really, really dropped the ball or ran out of money. I don't know. But that's my take on that. Let's talk about the music score right now. The music score is good. The music score hits your heart, man. I'm telling you, music score. I mean, listen to that. It's just like an epic classic to me. And there's some scenes at the end. I'm going to tell you right now, my mouth was wide open. So look, I'm not telling you to go out and buy this without looking at maybe some other reviews, because you may feel the same way that some of those other critics felt, but I didn't. And I'm here to tell you how I felt. All right, so what am I going to do with this? This is what I'm going to do. The Huntsman Winters War. For the movie itself, 4 out of 5 stars. Why? You just bragged it up. Well, the end, I got to say this, the end wrapped up in too neat of a little bow, just wrapped up in a little bow, and there it is, and there's the end. And it just too quickly wrapped up too nicely for me. I would have liked, and the fight scene could have been a little longer. But I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars for that. What about the 3D? What about the 3D? I'm going to give the 3D 3.75 out of 5 for the 3D, because of just the way it was sporadic. Yes, you had good 3D, and then you had that exceptional part. We already talked about that. So I know this is a long review. I apologize for the technical difficulties I've had. The screen going out, my ring light has gone out. I don't know what's going on, but I wanted to power through this because I wanted to get this review out to you folks. So let me ask you, what did you think? Did you see it? Did you see it in 3D? Did you see it 2D? Did you see it at the theaters? What is your take on this? Leave some comments below and let me know. Give me the thumbs up, give me the thumbs down, whatever you want to do. I'm sorry, I apologize to the haters about this film, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I saw it twice, and I'll probably watch it again. It's just, to me, was a great movie. All right, so leave your comments below. Hit that like and subscribe button. I got a lot more reviews coming out. I want you to have a good night, stay safe, and as always, God bless.